slow. I saw that. It was actually fire. It's the longest 10 minutes of my life, Vanessa. I love you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm like 50 minutes late. I'm moving slow today, man. I'm moving slow. Jess, what's up? Sabrina, Dean Withers, too. More Loomer, Rock Socks? Yeah. Wait, what's wrong? Is something wrong with my mic? Something wrong with the mic? Sounds weird. I know I said 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. It's a little muffled. How's it sound? Better? Better or worse? Or the same? Better. Okay. It just needed a quick plug in, plug out deal. All right. I think we're good. Yeah, I know. I said 10 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me today. Well, actually, that's every day that I'm late to everything. I should probably just be better. I'm tired today, man. I don't know why. He said, come on, man, come on. I'm here. Name me one thing Biden did right. Biden did a lot of things right. Molly, I had a good Christmas. I hope you did. What's up, dear Liv? What's going on? Probably just shouldn't say time anymore. Yeah, that's true. Cadence, good. How are you? JB, what's up? Double tap the screen for me. If you're a Trump supporter, you can let me know. Jack Farmer's mom, good to see you. Was Biden a good president? Yeah, Biden's like top 15. Certainly, like in terms of domestic legislation, like one of the best presidents in American history. Show the fit. I don't know if I can do that. I mean, yeah, if you disagree with what I just said, you can come up. So, yeah, thanks for all the gifts. I appreciate it. Do I have any pets? I do. Some dogs, some cats. Chuck, what's up? Did my chat just break? Okay. This person says I'm bought and paid for by the Democrats. Well, if they want to come up and like give me proof of that, they're more than welcome. Hello.
What's up?
What's up, man? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Have we talked before?
No.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd say Donald Trump is one of the worst presidents ever. I think that's so stupid. Because do you think life is good 2016 to 2020?
Yeah, it's sure.
You think it was like the country was doing well?
It's doing fine.
All right. So then, what did Trump do bad?
Yeah. So obviously, like we've talked before. But yeah.
How do you know?
Because
I think we talked before.
Because I can tell by your voice, and your name is John Adams, and you have 0 followers and 0 following. Oh my goodness! If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Symbol Human, why don't you come up and I'll give you a full my platform to prove to me that I'm paid for by Democrats. Just come. All you have to do is request. Because you're too scared or something. If you're a Trump supporter, you can request. I'll double tap the screen. I really appreciate everyone being here. Means a lot. Hello?
What's up?
What's up, man? How old are you?
I'm 20.
All right. What do you think about my prompt?
I don't think he's one of the worst of all time. I don't think he's one of the best of all time either, though.
Did you vote for him?
I did.
Okay. Why'd you do that?
I mean, life in general is just better. Like you were saying, from 2016 to 2020. Tax cuts were great. And the border was good.
Okay. So what else did... well, first of all, in terms of my actual prompt, there's no other president in U.S. history that, cares more about himself than the will of the American people, at least enough to try to overturn an election he didn't win with evidence he didn't win it. So there's that.
Okay.
So, just trying to like destroy democracy. He also, didn't really get that much done in his 4 years in office. Probably lied more outrageously and continuously than any president in U.S. history. Alienated us from most of our allies. Was a convicted felon, found liable for sexual abuse, liable for defamation again, liable for business fraud. 40 of his 44 cabinet members didn't endorse him, said that he had like no concept of foreign policy and was a complete disgrace and a fascist and a dictator. So I think he was pretty bad.
What do you think about like Canada and like being the 51st?
I think it's interesting that the same dumb fucks who campaigned on World War III is imminent are now campaigning on invading places. I think it shows. I think best case scenario, it shows that they know how fucking stupid half the country is acting.
Yeah, I'll admit I didn't know like the most going into it, but I'm definitely open to hear the other side, so I appreciate it. All right, man.
Well, thanks, Reynolds. Appreciate you. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. It's good to be here. Vish, I see you down there. It's good to see you. Am I still sick? I think I have a sinus infection or something. I don't know. Hello?
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man? How old are you?
18,
Okay, what year were you born?
2005,
Okay.
December 2005.
Okay. What do you think of my prompt?
So I don't think he's the worst president because in order to be the worst, he would have to be worse than Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is by definition the worst president. He was so bad that he didn't even try to run for a second term.
Okay, so first of all, my prompt says Donald Trump is one of the worst presidents ever.
I actually didn't see it. It was blocked. That's my bad. It's
Okay.
like it says Live Fest 2024 there.
That's all right. So it's one of the worst presidents ever. There's like 160 some odd presidential historians who get together every 4 years. They teach at different universities in different aspects of politics. And they rank Donald Trump the worst. They rank Joe Biden 14th. I don't know that anybody who like has any grip on reality actually believes that Joe Biden is a worse president than Donald Trump. You might not like Joe Biden. You might think he was a bad president, which in itself is not a great take. But to think he's worse than Donald Trump, you actually have to be like living on Mars. So
Okay,
I would say that Donald Trump is one of the worst presidents ever because he tried to overthrow an election. He didn't win with evidence. He didn't win it and lied more outrageously and continuously than pretty much any president in U.S. history. At least it's well documented that he told roughly 30,000 false or misleading claims throughout his 4-year presidency. That's over 20 a day, just flooding the American population with pure disinformation and like crumbling our ability to run our country in an appropriate way, like elections, for example. And he cares more about himself than the will of the American people. So much so he's willing to both legally and illegally try every method to overturn the election because he cares most about power. So
Okay,
I don't know what Joe Biden did that was like near that.
Well, first of all, I think that there's more things that Trump has done that are good, at least maybe not in terms of volume, but in terms of their actual like goodness. Okay. The first thing that Biden did not do, which he should have done and Trump did do, was engage in a trade war with China. I think it's very important that we get into a trade war with China. They're engaging in unfair trade with us. They actually use slaves. Are you aware of this? Right. And so in order to get rid of the slaves, we need to engage in a trade war with them.
Okay.
Joe Biden has what? Sorry.
Why? Okay. Continue.
Why should we not have slavery? I mean, it's unfair trade. We don't even have to deal with the morality thing.
I didn't ask that. I was just trying to understand your perspective of why engaging in a trade war with China is going to change their labor practices.
Absolutely. Okay. The prices we have right now are completely artificial. Okay. And immediately after engaging in a trade war with China with very, very high tariffs, we're going to see prices increase because we're going to have to source goods from not China, okay? And in the meantime, they're going to have to increase the quality of their products, which means increasing the quality of their workers, okay? That's
Wait,
the
why are
only
they
way.
gonna, wait, why are they going to have to increase the quality of their product?
Because if we're sourcing it from other places, it's because their products are higher quality. It's not because
Wait,
it's low
that's-
cost. Low
wait,
cost is
that's-
China.
Wait, but that makes no sense. The premise of us not sourcing from China is for you, so they have better labor practices. So so all the other countries in the world that we would be sourcing from, who also have piss poor labor practices, this makes no sense. What you just said
First of
made
all,
no sense.
First of all, no. First of all, so let's get okay. You want to give an example of another country that uses slaves?
Yeah, dude. Most countries that are not America, and like that goods are going to be made, like Indonesia, for example, probably don't have as good of labor regulations. as
Okay, then we
the
get
United
into a
States.
trade war with Indonesia as well.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying the premise of you're oh, they're going to have to increase the quality of their goods, but that's not the reason you're not sourcing from them. If you want their quality couldn't the quality of their goods be amazing, but you still wouldn't source from them because they're using labor from
You're not
children?
going to get as good a quality by using slaves as you are by using paid workers. That's obvious.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that's beyond obvious.
And Joe Biden didn't engage in a trade war with China.
Absolutely. He's been very weak on China. He has not put any pressure on China. They've all even walked back from the whole tariffs thing.
Joe Biden kept most of the tariffs Donald Trump had.
Okay, again, those walked back significantly, at least during the
Can you name
running
them?
up to the,
Wait,
no,
what?
I'm talking about in terms of a political belief. Kamala Harris was not I'm going to throw more tariffs on China.
Why did the Biden Harris
We
administration
need to
keep
do
the tariffs?
more. That's my point. Is that we need to do more. The whole reason we
So
got
Donald
into a
Trump
trade
didn't
war
do
is
enough.
because Trump, no. Trump
Well, Donald
100%.
Trump. Wait, so if Donald Trump did do enough, and Joe Biden kept the tariffs that Donald Trump had, then Donald
Listen,
Trump didn't.
at the time, he was moving in the right direction. He got cut off from his 8 years. Okay, now he's finishing up his 8 years, and he's going to keep ramping up the pressure until we see the right results.
So yeah, and in the meantime, we crumble the American.
How would we crumble? Explain how we crumble.
I was going to say we would crumble the American economy.
How would we crumble the American economy?
Well, I mean, Goldman Sachs estimates that in the first half of 2025, with blanket tariffs, we'd see 1.5% increase in inflation. I think that would have a demonstrably negative effect on our economy as a whole in the market. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know if you have anything invested, but
I do have a lot invested. I'm only
Oh.
invested. I don't work.
Oh, okay. So you only have money invested. So what happened the week before Christmas? How did that week look for your investments?
It's very interesting. You're talking when the Federal Reserve said they would stop cutting rates?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, my stuff did not move. I own you know what Altria is in Crocs?
Yeah. So pause. I'm glad that your stuff didn't move, but the S&P 500 and the Dow had their worst
That's
days.
people's faults for buying an index. They're buying an index. That's one of the risks.
Stop.
What do you mean stop? That's literally
That is crazy. Now you're being purposely.
No, it's not. They're taking index risk.
Stop speaking. In that day, that Friday before Christmas, $3 trillion of market cap erased. It was the largest loss for the S&P 500 and the Dow since fucking mid 2020. Okay, and obviously the S&P 500 is made up of the 500 best performing companies in the United States. So it's not someone's fault for taking index risk. Everybody got shit
you're
on.
wrong because Altria is it's a constituent of the S&P 500 actually. Okay, so you're just wrong.
Can you just stop being semantical and answer why did the Fed say they weren't going to cut rates 4 times in 2025?
First of all, it's an entirely political move, and you're going to disagree on that, so whatever. But it's an entirely political move.
Why is it political?
Not to mention, it's more so the Fed follows the 2-year.
Why was it political?
Well, what do you mean? Why is it political? They started lowering rates once they needed to somehow get Kamala into office, make people feel better about the economy. The economy was the number one issue. People felt better about the economy towards I mean, that's just not even false.
Nice.
Again, the Fed, I will say
be quiet. No, be quiet because we're not going to pivot from this. So the Fed said that they thought that inflation in 2025 was going to be a lot more stubborn than previously predicted. And you agreed that if Trump enacted these wide tariffs, what was going to happen in the beginning? I think the exact quote you said was prices are going to go up. So if the Fed is if Donald Trump is saying that he's going to enact broad tariffs that everybody knows, including you, are going to cause inflation, wouldn't it make sense for the Fed to switch their monetary policy right now and say, wait, hold on, we don't want to cut rates this fast because if there's inflation, like you agreed there would be, we might have to take a different approach?
Okay, you're making a lot of sense right now. However, inflation can be caused by multiple things.
Okay, yeah. So
Can I just? I let you go. Can I go really quick?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So the Fed, when they do monetary policy, they're not dealing with the type of inflation that we were talking about before. They're dealing with currency debasement. What do you mean?
Oh my God, what the fuck are you on right now, dude?
Do you not understand that inflation can be caused by multiple things?
Yeah, of course. Of course, inflation can be caused by multiple things. You need to take a goddamn Econ 101 class. The Fed does not deal with specific types of inflation.
Just to be very specific, dude, I'm not going to say which school I go to, but I'm an econ major at a very legitimate school. So
How old are you?
I've already said I'm 18.
You're
okay?
18, so you're a freshman.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I got into a very serious school at a very serious economics program. So
That's great. That's fantastic. You should go refresh on Econ 101.
there's no okay. Do you know what the debasement of currency is?
Yes. So what is your let me get here. What is your point? Like when you say that, that makes no sense. Like just
Debasement of currency doesn't make sense to you?
no. You said that the Fed is only that they're not prepared to deal. You're suggesting that they decided not to cut rates for a different reason.
Of course, they are not going to go up there and say that I'm doing things for political reasons. That would make no sense.
So you don't. So is inflation going to rise in 2025?
I mean, most likely, broadly speaking.
So
again,
would it make logical sense for them to slow down on cutting rates if that were the case?
absolutely not. Interest rates are much too high. They've been high for too long. I mean, dude, you can say that. All right. Anyways, the reason we had a problem with inflation is because we debased our currency by printing it.
There's
No question about that.
No, there is a massive question. There is zero evidence.
dude. There's zero evidence, dude. Okay, there is evidence. You know what the M2 money supply is? You know what the M2 money supply is?
You didn't let me finish. There is no evidence to suggest that printing money was the main cause of inflation.
That is actually the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, really? So can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? So Donald Trump spent more money, borrowed more money than Joe Biden, both non-COVID relief and COVID relief, doubled compared to Joe Biden.
Okay.
So
Listen.
was Donald Trump?
Okay, we needed. First of all, we needed COVID relief, and again, we could go into the specifics of, the spending problem and how it's just that the Democrats won't cut Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, and they should be cut, and we wouldn't even have a deficit if we cut all of those. All right, but it's more so that the Fed was quite literally purchasing bonds irrespective of price. Okay, they set rates to zero, and the U.S. was just quite literally hitting people with stimulus checks. Okay, and it was in fact Biden's stimulus checks that put us over the edge and really sent inflation.
Even though Donald Trump borrowed more money, both COVID relief and non-COVID.
Again, the borrowing of money is very different than
the
all
Fed
the other things I
purchasing.
listed.
Right. Okay. So can you
They were buying mortgage-backed
great,
securities.
fantastic. Can you source that for me? That should be I can't hear you while you're out of the app, and that's fine. I'll let you research. Please find me a source that shows that government spending was the main cause of inflation. Please, and I beg for that source. Hi, Sarah.
Okay, I have 3 sources.
And these sources are going to show that money spent was the main. Wait. I'm just confirming. These sources are going to show that government spending was the main cause of inflation. Is that correct? Uh, oh,
Yo, wait, hello?
hi, wait, can you hear me?
All right, so wait. What did you say? You cut out.
So no, it's no worries. So these
Yeah, I
three
can-
sources are going to show me that the money spend was the main, government spending was the main cause of inflation. That's what these three sources are going to show me.
No, your argument is that it was government spending. My argument is that it was the monetary policy, meaning quantitative easing specifically.
Oh, okay, all right. And these
Quantitative easing was the purchasing on the open market of.
and these three sources are going to show me that that was the main cause of inflation. UV, thanks for subscribing.
So, let's see if this link's too long. It's not. Okay.
You just
Right now. Okay, and they're not even explaining this.
I
Hello? Sorry, there hasn't really been a change in monetary policy. While they're easing the interest rates, they're unloading the securities that they bought during the pandemic.
okay.
Okay, and what's that doing? That's literally increasing the yield. Like that's just a simple. They're increasing the supply, so obviously the yield's going to go up.
Okay.
So we're really not really seeing anything from the Fed, except obviously when Trump was elected, they immediately changed course after going things are looking really bad. Blah 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 blah, saying basically anything to support this idea that we need to lower rates to support Kamala Harris. As soon as Trump got elected, it suddenly became, everything was a hunky dory. No, we don't need to be cutting rates. The economy's great. I mean, we're literally growing at like 1% real rate. Okay, our population grows at like 1%. So really, we're seeing zero growth in the U.S. right now. Okay, and that's 100% better than China. But ultimately, we need to put more pressure on China, and we need to fix. I mean, yeah, you're right. It's not just happening in China, but China's our biggest trading partner, and the prices that we see every day are fake because they're using slave labor, and we cannot let that happen for two reasons: it's immoral, and it's unfair trade practices.
Okay. How do you feel about Donald Trump's mass deportation?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a very difficult thing to do. I also think that we should take a look at the 14th Amendment. I think that it's not totally insane to build a wall. I do think that, it's probably never going to pass. I'm a realist. I know that it's never going to pass in the legislature.
And
so the best way to do it would be to enact tariffs and have Mexico pay for it indirectly.
And you would agree that a mass deportation would cause a massive economic downturn?
I think if it would, because people are paying people below, market wages
I would
because they're basically slaves. I mean, ultimately, yeah, if you're an illegal, you're working as a slave. Okay. That's the whole bargain. And yeah, I really would, I don't mind prices going up.
Well,
if they're artificially low.
I mean, like, for example, Bloomberg and their economists estimated that a mass deportation combined with widespread tariffs would decrease our GDP 9% over the next 10 years. Part of that reasoning is that our labor force, would you agree that we have an aging labor force?
100%.
Okay, and so we don't have enough native-born Americans to work every single job.
Right. I think that there are a lot of, and they brought this up, there are a lot of jobs that ultimately are going to need to go. I think AI is going to help a lot with that.
Okay, but as of right now, if we were to mass deport everybody, there literally wouldn't be enough people to work every job.
Let me give you an example.
Our GDP growing at 3.5%, we just slide straight into a recession. So that's a problem.
Okay, a recession obviously is not great. Okay, but our GDP going down, what do you say, like 10%? Ultimately, our GDP would still be greater, especially per capita. Than
if our GDP the last two wait, our GDP it grew this year like 3.5%, last year 3.5%.
Again,
and you're telling me that if our GDP decreased 9% over a decade, that quote, it wouldn't really be a big deal. Would our GDP be greater than the rest of the? Well, yeah, but you know what we could do to just avoid all of that is not mass deport people.
Again, people can assume all these things, models and all this stuff. It's all just, in these academic halls, dude. In reality, Obama mass deported people. We didn't really see that much.
Yeah. So because again, like, this isn't like a people going down the hole of academia. This is like in 2020, boomers started retiring at a rate of 2-to-1 to the average to the new worker. So 2 boomers were retiring for every new person that joined the workforce. And so now all this job gain, a lot of the job gain we've seen under the Biden administration, actually isn't going as much to native-born Americans, and that is because there literally isn't enough of us to work every single job. This is a massive problem. So if you deport all of these people like you're talking about, there will be businesses with nobody working there.
Again, the businesses that don't have people working for them are just going to need to pay more money.
Okay, right. No. So the same, again, this is, and I'm not talking to you here, but just the Trump world. I mean, it's unbelievably fucking gross and dishonest let me ask you this. And it's not, again, it's not you, but it's the sphere. How is it possible that for 4 years, everybody screamed about how people like me were horrible people because somehow, some way, I don't care that inflation is destroying middle-class families, that Sally down the road can't afford anything to eat because inflation is raging because of Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is killing America because nobody can afford to do anything.
No,
and now, that same sphere is saying, like, yeah, if we deport people and we do these mass tariffs, it's, inflation could rise 5%, but it'll be fine. It's a long-term, it's for the long term. Are you fucking kidding me?
I haven't heard the latter part from majority of people, but I will say
you just said
majority.
You were okay with prices.
Whoa. For me, I'm not the majority of people. I will say the majority of Trump supporters are uneducated and they don't understand concepts like inflation and a lot of these other things. Okay, so that's obviously part of the problem. Now, and I will say it's ultimately it's nobody's fault but their own if they're suffering to inflation. I mean, if you are invested in real assets, even just owning a home, your money is caught up with inflation. If you are actually valuable in the workplace, your wages will catch up with inflation. I mean, even fast food workers, we saw huge increases in their wages, especially during the pandemic and, even after the pandemic to catch up with inflation. So again, I'd say that, again, there's no question that his base, and it's not Republicans, okay? His base, who are now voting Republican, okay? They're just completely uneducated. They don't understand these concepts, okay? But there's actually, again, I think it's nobody's fault but your own if you're suffering because of inflation. If you own businesses, if you own land, okay, you will do well. If you are actually valuable in the workplace, you will do well with inflation. Okay, it's only people who, again, these are self-inflicted wounds. If you're not specialized enough in your labor, okay, then you're gonna get cooked. There's no question about that, and you need to figure out what to do. If you're a government employee, like if you're really not good at anything, then you should go be a cop, a government employee. They're not getting cooked. Okay. And realistically, if you're not able to live in one place because of inflation, then you need to move to a different place. And a lot of people are just not being real with themselves. They're living beyond their means. Okay. But again, these things are very important to get done. Like I really do think that we should, have a wall. I think that would be a positive thing. It not only is it going to make people feel better, which is a good thing, it is also, at least, marginally going to help the country with its immigration problem. Okay, I also think that we need to get in a trade war with a lot of these countries because they.
How do you feel like our immigration problem is doing right now?
I honestly have no idea.
Well, I mean, right now we have we have 3 times lower encounters than we did under Trump in late 2019.
I mean, I believe that. I think there's a lot of things that could be the cause of that, including people realizing Trump's coming back. But
no, this was far before. This was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, far before an election. It would actually be because Joe Biden sent an executive order around asylum seeking. Continue.
Again, I would think that that's a lot of political posturing, and that if he got reelected, if he even ran again, he would 100% undo that, just like he undid it beginning of his first term last time.
He didn't undo much at all at the beginning of his first term last time.
What are you talking about? He let Title 42 expire. That's undoing.
That let Title 42 expire. Holy
What do you
shit.
mean? He did let
No. Title 42 had no constitutionality because there was no major pandemic. Courts have ruled on this over and over and over again that the Biden administration argued in court relentlessly that they wanted to keep some of Donald Trump's claims around asylum because the issue at the border was getting bad. And federal judges said Donald Trump could do this because he had Title 42. Title 42 isn't in effect because the CDC doesn't, categorize COVID as a public health emergency anymore. Case denied. Get rid of it in 2 weeks. That's absurd.
I will say that, and again, I think Trump's stance is not totally nuts. But immigration is a very difficult beast. First of all, you make it super illegal. You're increasing the profit for the cartels. Okay, they're going to start doing really fucked up stuff. Sorry if I'm not allowed to curse, something like that. But on the other hand, if you just let it be all loosey-goosey, you're going to literally have people coming into the country who should not be in the country. And I think there are certain things I think maybe he's looked at, taking away funding, sort of like how they did it with, the 21 drinking age, taking away funding from cities that want to protect these criminals who are in the country illegally.
That's right. That's some conservative states' right stuff right there.
I mean, dude, 100% for national defense. That's the federal government's job. That's
right. The federal government can the party of small government is totally cool with giant government interfering as long as it has something. As long as
quite literally that is quite literally the stance of the federal government's job is to facilitate trade and to protect the country.
Okay, well, I would argue that right now in most red states with Trump-led abortion bans, the maternal mortality rate is significantly worse than the rest of the country. A woman just overall health outcomes for a woman in Texas are substantially different than a woman born in New York. I would argue it's the
There's
federal
nothing forcing you to live in Texas. Honestly, I would never.
So fine. So there's nothing. Fine. So there's nothing forcing you living in a blue state with a sanctuary city. You can leave.
Whoa. But that's not the point. The point is that the sanctuary cities are protecting the criminals, and that we need to remove them. But what do you mean? It's not even a close parallel.
It is. What I'm showing you is that I don't think that you're actually a conservative. I don't think anyone who.
No, I'm not a conservative. I'm a Republican.
Yeah, well, I don't know even how you define that. I think if you support Donald Trump, I would say you're so far removed.
I'm not a Trumpist, but I 100% support Donald Trump.
Right, sure. I think that if you support Donald Trump, you are most likely so far removed from anything that's actually conservative value. You just lost in the sauce. I don't know. Again,
Trump's not really conservative.
What I'm pointing out here is that it's interesting that the party of small government. You get to pick and choose when you feel like it's appropriate for the federal government to interfere.
It's never been picking and choosing.
Really?
It's always been national defense. If you Britannica, look at the Republic.
So why should the federal government protect abortion rights?
I don't think that's national defense. How is that national defense?
I would just argue that's general. That's the well-being of the. I think that the federal government has enough of a role in determining the health outcomes.
So you're right. So there is a part in the beginning of our Constitution, the preamble, general welfare. Okay, I'm not a constitutional scholar. You're not a constitutional scholar. People argue about that all the time. We do all sorts of stuff based on the concept. Again, my interpretation of that is that, we shouldn't have people dying in the streets. And that's also what he said several times.
Okay.
Right?
Well, the maternal mortality rate in Texas is 10 times higher than pretty much every other developed country on earth.
Again, but that is quite literally that person's choice.
To
be in Texas. How is it not their choice?
Mm-hmm. So if a 17-year-old girl gets pregnant in Texas and loses her life?
Again, do you really think she can't go to a different state? First of all, she's obviously her parents' problem. She's 17.
I think you're a morally bankrupt fucking person. I think that. So why don't you get the fuck out of my life because you're annoying me now? If you're a Trump supporter, you can let me know. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. The link to my Discord is expired. I need to fix that. Typical lib. I don't really like a lib thing. It's just like I don't want to talk to this human being anymore. I talk to Trump supporters all day long. Some people say I'm too nice. Some people say I'm too mean. Some people I just kick when I just can't do it anymore. That was an example of someone that I talked to for a long time, and then we make a comment like that I think is so clearly just disingenuous that I'm just not going to engage on that. That's just annoying, dude. What type of person in America? I'm like, yeah. So women are dying at an unbelievable rate. Our maternal mortality rate in America, meaning women who die while pregnant, while giving birth, or within 42 days after birth, we rank 55th. It's the highest in the developed world. In Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, that rate is much higher because of Trump-led abortion bans. So when I'm like, yeah, like I think the federal government should protect this so women in Florida, Texas don't have such different health outcome than women in New York. And the answer is like, well, if you're a 17-year-old girl in Texas, like it's your fault that you live in Texas. Like, all right, bro. I think that's like so clearly an attempt to be like disingenuous. So like, I'm not going to engage on that. If you actually believe that, I don't know like what the fuck to tell you. That's like insane, but whatever, bro. Hello.
Hey there.
What's up? How old are you?
28.
All right. What do you think about my prompt?
What do I think of your prompt? Donald Trump is one of the worst presidents ever. I think he was better than Joe Biden. I don't think he was one of the best ever. I don't think he was one of the worst. I'm hopeful for this next 4 years. Very different presidency a very different campaign than he ran in 2016.
Okay. Well, you said he's better. He's better than Joe Biden. Please elaborate on that.
Sure. So real wage growth during the 4 years that Trump was president far exceeded Biden's. The housing price.
I'm actually pause. I'm actually going to
real wages.
Yeah. So I would probably disagree with that. But even if I didn't, maybe I don't know the stat off the top of my head. Can you give me like some cause for that? Because like Joe Biden passed more fiscal legislation than any president in the last 5 decades, and is in terms of just domestic policy alone is like a top president.
I quoted real wages. You can disagree with it, but that's a statistical fact. That
it is. Okay, great. It's a statistical fact. It's also a statistical fact that in Maine, the consumption of margarine correlates perfectly with the divorce rate over the last 10 years. As people consume more margarine, more people get divorced at a perfect rate for 10 straight years. We're not saying margarine causes divorce. So you can't just give me a stat with nothing. Give me a stat and maybe like a cause behind it. Because I'd argue that Joe Biden has all of this policy and I can outline the cause and then thus the effect. I would argue Donald Trump really doesn't have that much fiscal legislation that you can attribute to the random stat you just pulled up about real wage growth.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think Republicans would quote the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. I think they'd quote deregulation. I think specifically with wage growth, I think what happened very interestingly is he lowered the corporate tax rate, which everyone talks about like giving as a bailout to his billionaire friends. But then what really happened is we actually took in more tax revenue in 2018 than we did in 2017 after he taxed the bill.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. But nonetheless, it's very interesting that after he passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, that we had more tax revenue the following year, when in theory, if what Democrats say is correct, when we're not taxing billionaires as much, we would have, in theory, less tax revenue that year. So I think what happened is a very Keynesian economics approach to policy actually ended up meaning that business owners, it was kind of the trickle-down theory. Now, I'm not a proponent of trickle-down economics, but I think you give more freedom and liberties to business owners and they'll do right by their business in a free market society. And I think his policies kind of prove that true by having real wage growth in the way he did.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Well, I'm just saying that total government tax and other revenues grew by 0.3% in fiscal year 2020.
I said they grew.
Yeah. I'm just, again, like we're talking about cause and effect. We're talking about an increase of $9.7 billion. That's that's nothing. So I don't know if that's like attributable, and he's gone. All right. Heather, why'd he leave? Why'd that guy leave? Oh, man. Well, if you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Izzy, what's up? It's good to see you. Hope you're well. I know, right? Yeah, I don't think that an increase of revenue from 3.32 trillion to 3.33 trillion is attributable to Donald Trump tax cuts. 0.3%, $9.7 billion. What? $10 billion to the federal government is like fucking, if I was like, I don't know. If I was like, well, I ate more ice cream this week and my checking account has $6 extra in it. So I think eating ice cream is probably the reason I have more money in my checking account. $10 billion. That's fucking literal. That is a rounding error on Social Security, dude. The government wakes up and fuck it. $10 billion is just nothing, dude. I just disagree. Wrong. But I didn't kick that guy. I hope you guys saw. I did not kick that human being. That person just left. And also, I don't think the theory, and also I disagree with what he said about like, he was like, well, if the federal government took in more money, that shows that the Democrats' theory that if we tax billionaires, we'll get less money is wrong. I'm like, no, that's not the theory. The theory is that, what's actually happening is that billionaires get taxed less and everybody else gets taxed more to make up for what the billionaires are losing. So it's not like we're just like cutting taxes for billion. Well, I mean, for the record, that tax cut did like increase our deficit by like $2 trillion over 10 years. So, I mean, federal government definitely was, making less money, but whatever. We live in a society. That's what I heard. That's what they're saying. Chris, we want a Discord? I have a Discord, and there's a link in my bio, but it's expired, which I got to fix. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Sorry, what was that?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you think about my prompt?
I don't agree with it. Not a single bit.
Okay.
I came across the article the other day, and the reason I even came across it is because I was looking something up due to this other guy. Because as you probably know, there is probably a couple hundred of people like you that do these debates on here, right? And he said that one of my main things with Trump is keeping the borders controlled and safe. I don't think it's fair for the American people to have non-legal citizens in our country. It cost us more money, and that was one of the main things that he says. He said it didn't cost us a dime. And you think about it, you public school systems, you have to register, we pay for books, we pay taxes on all of our schools, everything like that. So if there's an illegal just not doing that, that's not contributing, that's not helping. Yes, it does. I will find you an article. It's a .gov article, actually. And it estimated that in 2021, I believe, public school systems lost $1 billion from students that were illegals. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Kamala Harris, borders are terrible job. Sorry, Kamala, borders are terrible job.
I mean, she wasn't the border czar. She was in charge of,
She was the border czar. How she is named the border czar.
No, she wasn't. It's just like a made up. There's not even an official title, but regardless of that, her job included
Democrats and everyone named and supported her as the border czar.
Okay, so then what was her role as the border czar? What did she do?
She was as simple as it sounds, border czar. She was in charge of it.
Absolutely, positively wrong. She was in charge of Ow!
Whoa, what was that?
Holy, Chad, hell. Okay, I think someone just gifted me something that gave me a sound effect. No, yeah, that's wrong. The Kamala Harris was in charge of 3 countries, the Triangle countries, which I believe was, and someone in chat can tell me. It was, what, I'm going to get this right.
And a triangle to us, in the shape of that, 3 points to us.
No, hold on. I don't want to. It's come on, Chris, you got to remember these things. Green 19, Northern Triangle. So her borders are, what she was in charge with was country, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, the Northern Triangle, and she was in charge of boosting both private and public spending in those areas so their economies would recover quicker and less people would migrate from those three locations to the United States, which a lot of statistics show she was like successful at. But she was simply in charge of boosting investment in those three countries. She was not
boosting investment or keep you. Well, first of all, you first just told me that she was in charge of keeping them out and not getting them in as frequently. Now
So those two things tie together. So the reason that like we saw an increase in the amount of people at the border is because during COVID, a lot of smaller economies got absolutely destroyed by inflation around the world. And so they started migrating to the United States. And so the job was to boost investment in those three areas so less people would migrate to the United States. But in terms of her being...
Are you kidding me? You know how many people are migrated to the United States from all countries around the world?
Yeah, I understand. That's kind of my point. Is like when you say she was border czar, this was her title.
They named her that.
This was her title. 3 countries, investment in these 3 countries. She didn't have any say on any other border policy.
Okay, so the southern border, like Texas, Mexico, all that you're saying that's Joe Biden?
Sure.
Okay. So if Trump is such a bad president, why was the border secure when he was in president?
Well, first of all, right now, border encounters are significantly lower than they were under Donald Trump in 2019, parts of 2017 as well. I'm more than happy to fact check that for you.
Go ahead, fact check that. Are you able to like share your screen or something?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, sure. Oh my God. Yo, thank you so much for the beating heart. Dude, that shit like destroys my ears. Oh my God. Hold on. Let's see. Here you go. Grade 19. Double tap the screen, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, sure. So let's see. I need like a updated okay, so this is October.
October 24th.
Yep. Which is also the lowest. Okay. Here you go. So this is an NBC News article, but the sources for this I can also show are from Border Patrol themselves. Here you go. Hold on one second. Guys, double tap the screen. Appreciate everyone being here. Sure. So this is whoops. So this is attempted border crossings dropped to the lowest level of the Biden presidency in September. Yeah, I know. Wait, fewer than 54,000 apprehensions. The number is also the lowest since August 2020 during the Trump administration, and is similar to September's totals in 2018, 19, and 2020. That's
similar to his previous ones.
So
I mean,
can I finish? The Border Patrol made under 54,000 apprehensions of immigrants attempting to cross the United States illegally in September. Blah 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 blah. Oh, here you go. During the Trump administration is in line with September totals under Trump in 2018, 19, and 2020. Blah 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 blah. And then there's something about it might not be. I might have to pull up the other. Or maybe if I wonder if I click this. But in 2019, there's a point in 2019. Hold on, let me flip my camera around and I'll figure it out. Where like I think Trump's crossings for a month were like 100
to an extent what you
150,000.
To an extent, what you told me is sort of true, but you said you claim that they were lower than Trump's. I'm about policy.
Yeah, that was September, but I'm about to prove that they were just lower in general. Okay, so yeah, here you go. This is what I was talking about. So this is, how many did it say? 54,000 in a month?
Something like that. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So, and this is, I'm sure I can find, I think this will give the general point, but this is, whoops, hold on. Sorry. This is, dude, Jesus, I'm a boomer. All right. This is Border Patrol, or this is U.S. Customs and Border Patrol website. This is, 2019, and this is like May for example, 132,000 people. And so like, yeah, that's not quite triple, but, getting there. I think there's another month, maybe it was 2018 where it was close to like 150, but, 132,000 attempted crossings in May of 2019 compared to this, in October, less than 54,000. That's
Is that attempted or is that complete crossings?
no. These are all of these are just encounters. Like it doesn't matter if Border Patrol, they could have arrested all of them. It's just
Encounter. So wouldn't having a higher encounter with an illegal immigrant mean that we were able to keep them out more then?
I mean,
Let's see, if we caught up and we found, like what you said, 130,000 illegals trying to cross, wouldn't that be a good thing that they're accounted for and they're not through the country?
well, that's oh my God. So wait, so when we talk about like when everyone says like the border is open under Joe Biden, obviously it's not open because when you see those border encounter numbers that are super high, obviously Border Patrol is encountering people.
No,
Now,
most of those aren't border encounter numbers. Those are illegal immigrants that have been in. It's not.
wait, so
I mean, dude, seriously.
we live in a society.
For a moment, I mean, he had that border open and people were just flowing through.
That's okay. So I do actually want to correct myself that the link I just showed you, actually, all of that was apprehensions. I'm sorry, apprehensions, not encounters. All of that was apprehensions. So apprehending about triple the amount of people, but yeah. So like obviously, if, again, it's not like if this goes back to the point of it's not like during any of this time Joe Biden was letting anybody in the country. So if Border Patrol is apprehending significantly more people, there's probably more people coming across the border. That's why Joe Biden in 2022 and 2020 or 2021 and 2022 and part of 2023 there was obviously a lot more apprehensions at the border, and people like you were very not people like you, but Americans in general were very upset, especially in the Trump world, understandably partly. And then now I'm showing you that in 2019, Donald Trump had 132,000 apprehensions at the border in May, and right now we're at 54,000 apprehensions, and we're like nearing lows. So I think that it's clear that like less people are coming across the border right now.
Show that it was, yeah, I agree with that guy. Show that it was an apprehension.
What?
So when apprehension, does that mean that they were stopped or?
They were apprehended. They were arrested.
Okay, yeah. So you basically just proved that Trump's border was better by showing me that.
Wait, so wait. So
No, you literally, okay.
Oh my God! Wait! Can I? No! Stop! So this is October. So the apprehension numbers at the border for 2022 and 2023 were the highest ever in United States history.
Yeah.
So Joe Biden's border was better than Donald Trump's.
Show it. I'll look this up right now.
Wait! Oh my God!
You didn't show me one number bigger than 130.
Dude, I think you're confusing yourself. Like I think you're confusing yourself right now. Like Joe Biden, when Joe Biden had like 1 million apprehensions at the border in a month or something. I don't know fucking how many.
What?
But like when Joe Biden's apprehension numbers were like unbelievably high in 2022, does that mean he had the best border ever?
On factcheck.org right now. Let's see this.
I cannot believe what's going on right now.
Why can't you believe it?
Because I think you're actually like confusing yourself. I'm not even trying to be a dick. I actually think like we're on different pages. Oh my goodness, man.
I'll tell you how it is. If you're right, I'll say it. I don't care. I just want to see this. If I confuse myself, I confuse myself.
So Joe Biden had like more apprehensions. The apprehensions being those numbers you see that all these people are coming across the border. They were really high. They were really high in 2020, like most of 2022, for example, and now they've gotten significantly lower because less people are crossing the border.
Thank you
so much for the money.
Graph or something, that would be nice. Let's see. Here we go. Here's MSN. This might be. I'll see.
I love your hair. Oh, you love your hair. I don't know about that. Thank you so much for the money, guns. I appreciate you guys.
Who is?
Someone said less people are crossing the border because they're all already here. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's showing that this on MSN. I see there's a graph with crossing, even for if you go to family units, it looks like in between. I would say probably 2019, Trump's his highest it hit 480, and then it went back down towards the end of his term, and then I mean Joe Biden, or when it shows 2023. It's already up there at 480 and it just kept going.
Yeah, so I'm not disagreeing. Like the article I just showed you now is that for the last 6 months, the border has been largely very calm. And so we can talk about why border crossings were much higher in, 2022 or 2023.
Yeah.
That did happen. But it is important to note that under the Biden presidency, for the last 8 months, the border has been the same as it was under the Trump administration, if not better.
All right, I think we can come to a fair point. I was just saying, I'm still going to stick on it. That overall Trump border is just immediately better.
So
and I think to be a worst president ever, I think, if you can't keep your country safe, I think that would make you the worst president ever. That's not.
Well, the fantastic that you brought that up. I mean, Donald Trump tried to overturn an election. He didn't win it with evidence. He didn't win it. So
He did not try to overturn it. That was all blown out of proportion by the left side. Oh, 100%. There is no.
really.
Yes.
So I assume you're referring to January 6th, but
Yes,
what
yes, I
about
am.
what about an entire fake elector scheme where he sends fake electors to states like where I'm at, Georgia, just a random group of people who show up and say, we're the rightful electors. We're here to certify for the Electoral College that Georgia went to Trump, when they were just random people with a fake document. Most of 18 people got charged with RICO, including Donald Trump in this scheme. There's pictures of the fraudulent document they brought. Multiple people have pled guilty. So we had this whole fake elector scheme where he was basically
I have heard many things about January 6th. I've never heard about that's the only thing I've ever heard about the 2020 election. I've never heard about a whole. That is no way. Man, that would have been way up there. I'll tell you what, man. That would have
You've
been.
got to be shitting me, chat.
Man, dude, Dean Withers don't even talk about the people going down to Georgia. I don't know, man.
Okay. So, yeah. So, I don't know where so this is part of the problem I argue with our country is that, we're all, we're not getting our news from great places. So, yeah. So, Donald, remember when he was charged with RICO in Georgia?
Sure.
Yeah. Because, he's been indicted 4 times. One of those indictments was in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. That indictment related to, it was about the fake elector scheme in Georgia, what I just referenced. The entire indictment was him trying to defraud the Georgia state government, violate election law, and send fake people to Georgia to try to certify that the election was won by Trump when it wasn't.
All right.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Is it fake? Is it fake voters or is it
electors? Look up
electors?
Trump. Look up Trump fake elector scheme.
All right. Let's see here. So soon after the 2020 election, legitimate electors signed certificates showing Joe Biden won. On the same day, Republicans signed additional certificates falsely declaring Trump the winner in their states and sent the documents to the National Archives.
Yep.
So that's it right there.
Yeah. So he had this whole scheme in multiple different.
Was that? Is there proof out there that Trump told these people to do that? Or
Yes. It's super well documented through a bunch of testimony that the fake elector scheme was their last ditch effort to try to win the election. So, him and just a couple other people, essentially Matt thank you so much for the dinosaur, came up with this fake elector scheme, happened in multiple different swing states.
Do you ever think that, that everything that has happened to Trump might be unfair? Because honestly, obviously he's a pretty bad person, I'll admit it. But listen, I think if you send the FBI on a case and you go hard into any single president ever, you're going to find some shit. I believe that they're almost all corrupt. But if you're going to do it to one person, you might as well do it to everyone.
Okay, but what did the FBI? I mean, this is all relating to like stuff he did to try to overthrow the election. I don't know if any other president has tried to overthrow an election.
Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, well, that's why I have the title. That Donald Trump's.
Did you know that Joe Biden was actually on trial for supposedly like assault. I don't know how I can say this on TikTok, but a specific type of assault towards a woman in the 90s, and he couldn't even testify for himself or swear in because they said he had serious. His brain was just not there. He didn't have the brain capacity.
Wait, Joe Biden. Wait, so Joe Biden was charged in the 90s.
No, not charged. He had a trial for a.
Well, you're saying he had a trial, like.
No, trial now. Like it was in like 2022 maybe, but
Oh my, no, yeah, you're. I think you're talking. That wasn't a trial. I think you're talking about.
it was.
No,
he couldn't go on trial.
No. You're trying. I think you're trying to refer to the special counsel's report on Joe Biden's classified documents. And in the special counsel report, it lays out for the first half how Joe Biden's taking classified documents is significantly different than Donald Trump, and how Joe Biden was cooperative and invited the FBI into his home and sat down for 2 5-hour in-person interviews. And there's this quote in there where it says that we believe, as the DOJ, that if we were to charge Joe Biden, that his defense in court would be that he's a well-meaning old man with a fuzzy memory. And so they're essentially, the DOJ is saying we're not going to charge him for these reasons. And if we were going to charge him, we speculate that we would lose because his defense in court would be this. And they're also assuming
if you're too stupid, then, and if you're a charming young man, then why can you be a president?
Well, partly because
he's too stupid. Then why doesn't that make him the worst president ever?
So the DOJ, when they made that, Robert Hur made that statement, you're also speculating that like you're not going to be able to see the inside of the courtroom for like 4 or 5 or 6 years because these things take.
That he'll probably be dead because he's old and shouldn't be president.
No, they're saying. I think it's reasonable to speculate that if Joe Biden were to be charged with this crime and he didn't run for president again because he's in a massive amount of legal trouble, that's usually what people do who actually care about the country. He doesn't run, and then it takes 5 years to get into a courtroom. Most of the country is going to look at Joe Biden much differently than they do now. Now he's much older. He's removed from the presidency. And so his defense in court will be that he's a well-meaning old man with a, quote, fuzzy memory. The fuzzy memory part is because the documents that they asked Joe Biden about in the 2 5-hour in-person interviews, which Donald Trump refused to do, were for documents that he had 40 or, had multiple decades ago. And so they were asking Joe Biden, they would have to prove in court that Joe Biden knowingly, took these documents X amount of decades ago. And I don't know if you remember what you were doing, even 10 years ago to the date right now, but I don't. If someone was like 10 years ago, you took a piece of paper that you really wanted and you put it in your car. Do you remember? No.
I mean, if it was a classified document, I wasn't supposed to have it. Yeah, I would remember.
Okay, but the point being is that this is like decades and decades ago. So there you go. It wasn't a trial. It wasn't a trial. It was a report by a special counsel on Joe Biden's classified.
All right. Well, that's all I got. I'll leave it to someone else. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you being kind. I hope you have a good rest of your day, man. Happy holidays.
Yeah, you too.
I like doing it. Like Parker, we were talking about this. I need to get Parker to give me the picture. There's a picture of like me, Harry Parker, Dean, Luke Beasley, Adam Mockler, and we're all standing there. We're going like, or no, I think we did this. And it's just like, it becomes like a troll thing where you just hope people clip it and like you watch people go like insane on the internet. Oh my God, he's part of it. Henry and I posted a video one time joking about Jeff, how we were on Jeff Epstein's island. And there was like really obscure parts of the internet that were like analyzing our like eye movements. Cause they were like, guys, do you think they've like, I bet the Democrats actually forced them somewhere. Look at the way Chris's eyes move at this minute, at this second marker when he's talking about Jeffrey Epstein. I'm like, oh my fuck. Can you fucking people get? So I hope that like while I'm talking, when I did this, like I hope that just gets clipped. And I hope there's some freaks on the internet like, guys, he's trying to signal to us that he needs help. So it's good stuff. Connect the dots. Chat, connect the dots. Connect the fucking dots. All right, I'm gonna go use the bathroom, and we'll let someone else up. What time is it? 9:33. All right, double tap the screen for me. Span the double tap. I appreciate everybody being in here. I'll be right back. I'll check Cash App and Venmo when I get back. I promise. Well. Oh wait.
Nigga been hating way too long. Too long. How about that? Oh, yeah. Good. I'm with the AP for 200K. They told me that false rainbow face. They hope I fall off. Ain't no way. I might be alright, but it ain't okay. Niggas that left. Niggas went right, I went left and stay left. And ain't nothing the same. They run their lips. I put my purple and stepping my foot in the pedal of rain. Spinning shit like I'm ahead of the game. You say they gon' drop and you better be flying. Lil' mommy gon' talk, she gon' suck till I'm drained. My top 5 top and in love with her brain. How cause to see, captains and making those streets, man. Love me in Spain. I'm kicking P. Land on the jet with a bitch with a big body frame. Just like a biker, rocket black. Margiela Love was the one with the lace. Put up the title, yeah, right. Hope that these little niggas really wanna race. I got that fight, I speak crack. I got that fake gon' recite what I say. Came in a ladder.